lots and lots of you are getting in touch with this story about Workshire Britain, because it is really one of the reasons why Britain is not recovering as perhaps as fast as it should be. It's still recovering better than most of Europe, by the way. We'll be talking to Richard Tice coming up in a little while because he's coming in to discuss all manner of things from the reform point of view, and not least a YouGov poll which says that if they were now to do another referendum about the European Union, people would vote to rejoin it. But let's face it, Britain is doing an awful lot better than Germany, doing an awful lot better than France, doing an awful lot better economy-wise than most of the European Union. We're going to talk to Justin Urquhart-Stewart in a moment about this. But Dan says this morning, Mike, thinking back, the Tories wanted to cut out and stop the doctors from prescribing antidepressants and mood-enhancing tablets. And I think the rise in people being sick and unable to work is partly down to medication being stopped. That's not the whole reason, though. I'm not sure I go along with that. I think the problem is, for a lot of people, they get medicated too much. They get over-medicated, and they get to the point where they can't do anything without taking a tablet for it. We know Robert Reeves, says Ian, has robbed the pensioners, but what is next? As we have seen governments lose tax on petrol, smoking, drink, so you can be sure higher taxes are coming big time, so growth is going out the window. Well, let's have a word with economist Justin Urquhart-Stewart, because inflation rose above target of 2.2% in July. Official data shows the rise is from a target of 2%. Some economists were predicting it would go up to as much as 2.3%. Is this good news for Keir Starmer? We shall find out. Justin, a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Have you got that cat with you there?
Yeah, sorry, unfortunately.
This is your lucky charm. Yeah.
Inflation.
He may be a better indicator of the economy than anything we've ever seen before, but is Keir Starmer going to be saying this is good news, or is he going to be saying, well, just wait till you see the public sector pay rises kicking into the inflation figures, and then we'll really be in trouble?
Well, yes, exactly what you've actually got. And these are some of the, as it were, ticking bombs left over from the previous government in various budgets, saying that there will be increases which won't come in now, they'll come in the next couple of years. That government, that party wouldn't be responsible for it. So he's got to be very careful now. Short term, these figures are fine. Inflation's come down, as it is in most countries around the world. But
have we lost?
Prices there.
Sorry.
And so there's still pressures. Remember, the key reason we had inflation going up before was not actually because of a consumer boom. Not many of us, I think, experienced that in the past couple of years, but because actually the supply chain, being so sensitive, which was hit by the war in the East, by ships getting stuck in the Suez Canal, and all these companies which are dependent on immediate delivery. And when that starts breaking down, that's when you see higher costs as people going the other way. So it's better news, but very, very small.
Right. I read something, I think, this morning that the economy is bounding along reasonably well. You know, Rachel Reeves came in and said, I've inherited the worst economy in the history of Britain. It turns out that's not quite true, is it?
Yes, not. And now, of course, all politicians only come in and say, not my fault, Governor, it's the last lot. And we go through that charade every single time with a not very funny note saying there's no money left. They've always done that. The result is, of course, depending on how you actually want to look at it, growth is low and slow. We all knew that. What you have to do is actually have mechanisms which give you that one word of confidence. Now, look, let's be clear. There is no shortage of money in this country, but what you're not getting is the pipeline of that money going into investment in British businesses. So it's the incentivization for businesses, for investors, as you've just been talking about, people going back into work. It's got to be worth their while working, and increasingly, particularly as we've got a lot of jobs available, not worth their while actually sitting at home, because, as you say, that's just swinging the lead.
Absolutely right. Justin, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy the rest of the morning with your cat. Justin Urquhart-Stewart there and his cat. They're economists looking at the inflation figures, which are, not too bad at this moment in time. May get worse as the more pay rises kick in. We shall see. Mike, the larger the number of people on benefits grows, the less any government would wish to take them on, says Mark in Selby, as they will be a voter group of sufficient number to affect elections. Tackling this issue sooner rather than later is better. Well, that's an interesting point. Imagine if 9.3 million people, 9.4 million people all voted the same way because they wanted to keep their benefits. That would be a massive group of people. Let's get a work-shy Brit's note, a voice note from Brian.
Hi, Mike. Brian here from Southend again. Just a question on the benefits thing. There's too many people sitting on their backsides, but we all know when they play on this mental health and anxiety issues. We know damn well that there's not many people who have this problem. They're just playing the system. And the fact is that we're now in the third generation of people who have seen their parents and their parents, and now the kids are coming through, and they're all seeing their parents get stuff for nothing, And that's what they're all doing.
Very good point, Brian. Thank you very much indeed. How about this from Ray in Liverpool? The vast majority of the work-shy wasters in this country, he says, are actually unemployable. Would you give a job to someone who can't even get out of bed and get washed in the morning? Well, you know, part of the problem is you put the cart before the horse, don't you?